lately I've been talking about consistency and the importance of being consistent in order to make progress. So, going back to my days when I was uh, a university student, even though I made a lot of mistakes, I think I can make references of working out and preparing for exams or learning your subjects. Now, being a full-time student, it wasn't just a focus on just one course. There was a focus on getting 5 courses done per semester, and the midterms and the final exams were around the same period of time. Now, some exams, they may group about 2 or 3 of them within a 48-hour period. So if you're the type of person to cram as hard as you can, when, let's say, your first exam is 9 o'clock in the morning, and then the next exam is like 3 o'clock p.m., and then the next exam is the next day at 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll try to procrastinate and cram everything in for that one specific subject right before the exam. It may work for some people, but it's not ideal for a lot of people in order to pass all the courses or to even get a decent mark in all the courses. There's always, or for some people, they may feel like they gotta do better in one course and they'll do worse in the other, or they're willing to make the sacrifice to ace 1 or 2 of the courses and flunk the other course. So then there's the being consistent part, where taking the time before the exams, so like even when the course started, so like 3 or 4 months before the final exam, or even like 1 or 2 months before the midterm or the final exam, it will take time to study each of the courses on a regular basis, to do their homework. And then I also went through a period of thinking about, if I just focus on one course at a time for a period, and then focus on another course another time, will I do better? Well, based on that experience, I would have done better on only one of the courses, while my knowledge on the other courses will suffer. And then there's also the process, or there's also weaknesses, like one course is a lot easier than the other course, or the other course is like, no matter how hard I put effort in, I won't do well. So making reference to this in terms of like working out, I also did experience with one exercise for a period of time. I tried it for about a couple months, and for some exercises I did make progress up to a certain point, just focusing on like Zercher deadlifts, or focusing on pen rows, just for like a couple weeks at a time, and I didn't really do any other exercises to try to get better in. I found out from that experience I did get better up to a certain point, but I also did find the overuse injuries were accumulating much faster. And like for doing Zercher deadlifts quite often, there was a lot of soreness in my forearms because I wasn't getting time off to let potential bruising on my crooks of my elbows to heal. So it made it harder to attempt the next day or the next 2 days. But I also did find that because my mind was so focused on it, I was able to get better as I kept practicing the exercise during my training. But I also found that when I was doing other exercises for the next routine that didn't really get any carryover from the Zercher deadlifts, they actually got weaker over time. And I did find like some of my other muscles got smaller. It did take a co-worker of mine's to tell me that my chest was getting smaller because I stopped training chest for some time because I was more focused on Zerker for that period of time. So for this workout, I decided to do Arnold press to start off with. It was not to fully wear out myself, but it was just to get some practice with the exercise. Like I even decided to do like 1 or 2 sets of like 5 reps with a lighter weight, like in the early morning, like after I wake up, just to get some practice and to get some muscle activation, activate the nervous system. And lately I've been rotating with either Arnold presses or just pull-ups. But the goal was not to get like a high intensity workout, and the goal was not to wear out my muscles to failure. It was just practice, being consistent. And going to being consistent with high rep squats or like high intensity interval training. I went through periods of time where I didn't do any cardio for long periods of time, and I didn't do any high reps. I didn't do any high rep squats. And the first time I tried to do it again and was out of breath, the out of breath feeling I felt after a period of time felt really intense. Like even there were times I felt like I was going to almost throw up. But if I kept being consistent with it, then that nausea or that throw up feeling, I wouldn't really feel it. And recovering from being out of breath would have been much faster. Now this consistency feeling is more like you got to put the right amount in without overwhelming yourself. Like cramming for exams may work for some people, and if that was the way of studying long periods of time, there'd be mental burnout. It's just like training. If you train as intense or as in long periods of time, just like you're cramming for an exam, there may be a lot of short-term gains, but in order to continue gaining more skills continuously for long periods of time, it may not be as sustainable, and it can lead to mental burnout. So it's one of the reasons why like I do full body workouts now, and I've always stuck with it for a long period of time because I want to make sure my overall body gets strong, and I want to make sure they all make some sort of progress, even though the gains for some exercises or plenty exercise will be slower versus just focusing on one exercise. But I'd rather have overall strength gains at the body as a whole go up versus just one exercise, while other muscle groups might go down in strength because I didn't practice the exercise. And if I was to go back to like studying, the scenario would have been like, I want to be able to get okay, or I want to be able to get decent marks in the courses, and I don't want to retake any courses. I want to be able to go to the final exam and only be able to attempt it once, because I do not want to retake courses. So pretty much my workout method is just like the approach I would have taken if I were to attend school full-time again. But if I only had one course, then it would have been a lot easier. Just focus on that one course when it comes to actually studying it.